Welcome back, dear children. I hope you all are safe and healthy. Today, we begin with a new chapter Coal and Petroleum. By the end of this chapter, you will be able to define natural resources, understand the nature of materials, define exhaustible and inexhaustible resources, explain the formation of coal, petroleum, and natural gas, list the uses of coal, petroleum, and natural gas, define petrochemicals, explain the versatile nature of coal and petroleum, suggest some conservation techniques of coal and petroleum. As studied in the previous chapters, different articles, utensils that we use in day-to-day activities are made of different types of materials like synthetic fiber, metals, plastics, etc. These materials may be natural or artificial. Do you know why some materials are used for a specific purpose? What is the reason behind the occurrence of different materials? How can we differentiate the materials from one another? Let's find out the answers to these questions in the chapter. Introduction to materials. In olden days, most of the vessels that were used for cooking were made of mud and copper. With the introduction of new technology and human efforts, we are now using the vessels made of steel, fiber, plastics, etc. Not only the homemade utensils, but the difference in use of the different materials can be observed in clothing, machinery, communication, transportation, etc. The different materials used may be naturally occurring or man-made. Material science. Some of the materials that are used today, such as gold, wood, were available since years. On the other hand, plastics, synthetic fibers, etc. are the result of new technology. Every day there is a progress in the field of science and technology which yields new products. The branch of science which deals with materials is called material science. It involves the discovery and design of new materials. It is the deep, thorough study of materials which include synthesis, structure, properties, and performance. Sources of materials. As discussed earlier, every material is obtained naturally or synthetically. The materials are obtained from a source. For instance, wood from trees, copper and iron from their respective ores. A table which gives the information regarding the material and its source is represented on the screen. From the table, it is observed that materials were obtained from water, respective ores, soil, etc. The water, soil, and air not only act as the sources of materials but are also used as the sources of energy. Likewise, plastics are obtained from petrochemicals. In the present days, plastic has replaced many materials that were used earlier. Today, most of the materials that are used for different purposes are derived from different sources that are present in nature. Hence, we can say that soil, petrol, air, water, etc., which occur naturally, are called natural resources. Wind. Wind is an important natural resource and it is a type of energy. Wind energy is efficiently converted into electrical energy with the aid of a windmill. The structure of a windmill is similar to the structure of a fan that is erected at some height on a rigid support. Earlier, windmills were used to grind the corn and also for pumping the seawater to make salt. Wind power was used by the sailboats and sail ships for balancing and to guide the direction. Solar energy. Solar energy is nothing but the energy produced directly by the sun, which is collected elsewhere, normally on the earth. This source of energy is renewable and therefore it is a green source of energy. There are many ways in which we can tap the sun as an energy source and use the sun's rays. Solar photovoltaic technology is employed directly to convert solar energy into electrical energy by using solar cell, which is manufactured by using silicon material. Solar energy is used in solar cookers, water heaters, solar street lights, and solar pumps in agriculture. Exhaustible and inexhaustible resources. Exhaustible and inexhaustible resources. In nature, the availability of resources is limited. The resources can be exhausted by human activities such as repeated usage and wastage of resources. Resources which are exhausted by usage are called exhaustible resources. For example, wood, coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Wood is derived from a plenty of plants, that is, from forests. As the usage increases, the scarcity of wood will arise in a short time. Fossil fuels like coal, natural gas, petroleum are also limited resources, which are to be used with judicious sense. If the scarcity of these resources arises, alternative sources which do not get exhausted are to be utilized. Energy sources like water, sunlight, and air are present in unlimited quantities. These resources are unlimited in nature even on regular usage, and hence these are called inexhaustible resources. Petroleum. As discussed earlier, petroleum is an exhaustible resource. It is measured in barrels, where 1 barrel is equal to 159 liters. The total production of petroleum from year 1859 to 1969 was about 227 billion barrels. In 100 years, from 1859 to 1959, the production of petroleum was about 50%. Later, from 1959 to 1969, the production of petroleum reached about 50% in a span of just 10 years. At present, the usage of petroleum is more than the rate of formation of petroleum. It takes more than 1,000 years for the earth to form the oil that we consume in one day. By the end of 2015, the consumption of oil reached half of the total resources available. If this continues, the extraction of oil in the future might be more difficult. Moreover, the research and development in the field of sources of energy states that the conventional energy sources, fossil fuels, will not last for a longer period of time. As a solution to the problem, non-conventional energy sources such as wind energy, tidal energy, and solar energy can be used because they are inexhaustible and are available in abundance. At present, only 10% of the non-conventional energy sources are in use. Their usage is to be increased to satisfy the future energy needs. Dear children, with this we come to the end of our session 1. Please complete the assigned tasks. Read the part of the lesson completed for better understanding. Why should people look for alternative sources of fossil fuel? What will happen if fossil fuels like coal and petroleum are completely exhausted?